Hey friends, welcome to the Goddess Money Healing Circle podcast. My name is Essence Turner, and I am your host, as well as a sacred money archetypes coach and a radical forgiveness coach. I specialize in profound and deep energy healing. But this podcast is for empaths and spiritual souls who, like me, have a love-hate relationship with money, but want to change it. Together, we will gather in circle to heal our relationship with money and change our money stories from surviving to thriving. Spiritually, circles represent God, rebirth, and growth. So come grow with me in this sacred circle as we explore metaphysics, the laws of prosperity, and the sacred money archetypes to deepen our understanding of spiritual wealth and abundance. You ready? Let's dive in. Hi, friends. Welcome to Circle in episode 2. I am your host, Essence Turner, your abundance coach. And today we are talking about what it means to have a healthy relationship with money. I'll give you an exercise so that you can determine if you have a healthy relationship with money, unhealthy, or abusive relationship, and what it takes to begin to turn that around. All right. So for those of you watching on video, I am recording multiple episodes, circles in a row. So I have the same shirt on. I was feeling a certain way about that. Like, should I change for each? And I'm just like, no, let's just keep this easy and simple. If you didn't listen to the first podcast episode, I talked about why I want this to be in circle format and a bit about what that means. I'm not going to go into it, but what I will say is that circles are magical. We invite in spirit, and I start with a short invocation, just bringing all of us listening into circle. I will also pull an oracle card. So if this is not your thing, I completely understand. But for those of you who are in, let's dive in. I've already shuffled the cards. I'm using my Goddess Guidance Oracle deck. And let's see which goddess has a message for us. Diana, focused intention. Keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you will make your mark. Awesome. All right. So that is your message for today. Well, one of them, because you'll, I'm sure, take more away from this podcast episode. So here we'll go ahead and we'll start the invocation. For those of you driving, please don't close your eyes. But for those of you who are in a in a safe environment and it feels safe for you to close your eyes, I'd like to invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And exhale. One more time, deep breath in and exhale. And I want you to imagine that we are in circle together. And you can envision just me and you, or as many people all around the world listening, just imagining us in one big circle, holding hands, supporting each other. We call in Mother, Father, God, Goddess Diana, and all the goddesses who've come before us, and we ask that your loving energy and wisdom encircle our circle. Help us to open our hearts, our minds, and ears to receive the blessings that are in store for us today. We thank you for the gifts of insight that we'll walk away with today, and for the seeds that are planted and will blossom in their own divine time. Bless us all. Hold us all in your light and in your love. And so it is. And with this circle is open. You are welcome to open your eyes, take a deep breath in. And yes, let's dive in. All right. Having a healthy relationship with money. All right. So some people ask, like, can we even have a relationship with money? Is that even a thing? And my answer is yes. Like, we have a relationship with everything. Everything is energy, and we have an energetic relationship with everything, including money. So think about, like I said, everything and everyone in your world. So that means you have a relationship with your house, you have a relationship with your job, with your car, with your body, with your phone and the TV. Think about somebody you know in their relationship with their phone. You can have a relationship with food, a relationship with alcohol. I had a very toxic and unhealthy relationship with alcohol. I used to say things like it was the only thing I could depend on, and I was very dependent upon it. And therefore, like I couldn't move to a healthy place with alcohol, like in drinking alcohol. So I had to just stop. And it's been 6 years now since I've had a drink because I had a toxic, unhealthy relationship with alcohol. But back to money. One of the exercises that I like to do with my clients when we do any kind of money archetype work or healing blocks around money is I actually like to have them personify money, like make money, envision money as a person. And I believe that that money is a woman. Yes, there's a masculine side to money, but in the work that I do, we're generally, I believe, working with the feminine energy of money. So I have them envision money as being a woman. And then we just kind of go from there. And I begin to ask them a series of questions to see just like what instantly pops up for them. And so, for instance, I may say something like, okay, what do you say about her behind her back? And then they may say things like, she's not enough. I hate her. She cares more about other people than me. She's just not that important. Right. So there's just this list of all the things they say about money. Right. Just thinking about money, just being money. But it's like when you think about money actually being a person, you really realize the word, like the words that you're saying and how they are hurtful and harmful and how they aren't kind to money. The very thing you're trying to invite in, you're actually saying and thinking some really nasty thoughts about her. And then I'll ask a question like this, like, what if somebody were saying those things about you behind your back and you found out? Like, would you want to continue hanging around them? Would you, let's just say, like, if it's a work colleague and you got to go to work and be with them, just like, money has to come to you, people are paying for things, but you wouldn't want to spend any more time with these people than you have to. So then when we're saying negative things about money, it may not come any more in our lives than it has to. And this is just, it's hard to say, but I'll share it, is I experienced this with my boyfriend not too long ago. We rarely fight, maybe I would say like 2 to 3 times a year. I think this year we might even be at 3 or 4. But we've grown a lot through each one of them. But I'll say this. So not too long ago, just like a couple months ago, I could tell just from his energy that he was thinking and saying negative things to me behind my back and like in his head. I could just feel from his energy. not so much anything that he did, but just like I could, and maybe because I'm intuitive, I picked up on it. And I didn't want to be around him. I didn't want to be around him any more than I had to. And then we finally talked it out, and he told me what he was thinking about me. And I'm like, ugh, no wonder I didn't want to be around you. And I can tell you that it was very repelling. Like on the other end, like being the receiver of the like negative energy, you don't want to be anywhere near that other person. And so thinking about money being energy, if and we are energy, and if we're giving off this negative vibe around money and saying and thinking really crappy things around money, it's almost like we're neutralizing our efforts. So if you're doing things like taking certain actions to manifest money, but then you're saying things like, oh, the money never comes. Where's the money? Oh, I just hate money. I hate that I even have to deal with money. I hate that we have this society where we have to buy and pay, right? Like you're just saying these things, not really thinking about as you're saying them, you're sending out this energy that is actually repelling money versus attracting and inviting it in. So we want to get to this place where the things that we're saying and thinking about money are in alignment with the actions and the steps that we're taking to bring more money into our lives. And so the sacred money archetypes also play a part in our relationship with money because they come with their own set of behaviors, thoughts, and beliefs around money. So, for instance, if Sheila has the money archetype, the alchemist, as her top archetype, and the alchemist has a love-hate relationship, but yet Sheila's unconscious to this, and she's just slipped into this cycle of hating money, and she's been there for a couple years, just hating money. Then it will make sense that if she's stuck in this place unknowingly, why she may not be creating the type of money that she would like in her life is because she's neutralizing her efforts. She's doing, let's say like selling her products and going out and networking and telling people, and she's not creating in the way that she would like. And it is probably because she's actually in this cycle of hating money versus seeing its value, appreciating it, saying nice and kind things about it. And so that is why I just think it's so important to know your money archetypes and work with them and learn what their gifts and their strengths are so you can live into those versus living into the toxic, unhelpful behaviors and patterns of the money archetypes. So again, you can learn about the money archetypes at essenceturner.com. You just click the button for Sacred Money Quiz, or it'll say Sacred Money Archetypes, and then take that quiz and find out your top 3 archetypes. Okay, and then again, there's a whole nother podcast on the Sacred Money Archetypes. But when you understand, or like first we have to become aware of what we are saying, thinking about money, how we feel when we're spending money, or how we feel when we're receiving money. When we really start to prioritize our relationship with money and really start to become aware of these things, like the things that we think, say, and feel, and our behaviors, it's like then we can start to take the steps to turn that around. So one of the things that I did was I looked up some traits of a healthy relationship, and I'm just going to share three of them with you so you can like do this on your own, like write it down or in your head. Okay, so where do you rate yourself? So we'll talk about first is communication. So this is a sign of a healthy relationship, is that you are communicating. It's unhealthy when you're not communicating, and it's abusive when you're communicating in a hurtful or threatening way. So with money, are you talking to your money? So that could even just be writing down goals or even writing down what's not working, like being constructive about it. Or are you just holding it in, not thinking about it, but just getting more angry? Or are you saying things, but they're just, hurtful and mean? The next is respectful. So being respectful is a sign of a healthy relationship. Unhealthy is being disrespectful, and abusive is mistreating. So do you respect your money? How do you treat your money? How do you spend your money? Like, I remember before, people talking a lot about your relationship with money, and like it shows up in how you put your bills into your purse. I know many of us don't have cash on hand, but I was the person that, just might have money just balled up in my purse. I was never really the one to like straighten it out and like have the denominations together and the bills, having the denominations together. And then the other thing I'm trying to say is like having them all face up or face the same way. So just thinking about, yeah, how do you treat your money? What does your wallet look like? Even, that houses your credit cards nowadays. Mine looks fairly decent now, only just because I went on a trip and I put everything in a smaller wallet. So it's not all stuffed up with receipts and stuff. But yeah, just really thinking about how you treat money. I am doing something where I'm like looking at my money and the bills and where it's going. Whereas I spent a lot of times not wanting to, not a lot of times, a lot of years, not wanting to look at it at all. So yeah, so how do you treat money? And then the third sign is trust. So trusting is a sign of a healthy relationship. Unhealthy is not trusting. And then the abusive is accusing. So in a relationship with another human, it's like accusing the other person of, let's say, cheating. With money, it's like, what might you be accusing money of? And so I would say this is probably where I've had the most toxic relationship with money in the last couple of years, especially since bringing my business online and being in groups and things with other entrepreneurs. And I would constantly accuse money of like liking other people more than me, wanting to be with other people more than me. Like I didn't trust it to come to me. And I felt it was unfair that basically it's cheating on me with other women coaches. So just think about these things, maybe even really sit with this exercise and see where you are in regards to it. Was communication, respect, and trust. And so you begin to change your relationship with money again by becoming aware of your thoughts and your feelings about money, being mindful of the things that you say, like the words that come out of your mouth about money, and becoming aware of unhealthy habits. So again, for me, I'm working on trust and not accusing money. The episode on the sacred money archetypes will also clue you into how you can begin to make changes and heal your relationship with money. But I want you to remember, it's one step at a time. Like, let's say if you're in the unhealthy in all these areas, plus, some other things that are in the unhealthy or abusive area with money. It's like, don't get overwhelmed and think you have to work on and change everything all at once. It's one step at a time. So maybe just pick one unhelpful thought or behavior and begin shifting that. So don't get overwhelmed. I remember 2020, I used to have the thought there's not enough like all the time. Like that's just been a childhood belief. That was kind of, what I heard growing up. And so I got coached in 2020, and she said, Well, how about just practicing the thought? My brain likes to think the thought that there's not enough. So it's like, it's not true, but this is just a thought that my brain likes to think. And so that was just like the one thing I worked on for months. And I did see a significant change in the money that I was bringing into my business just by focusing on that one new thought. Okay. So it's not like we're rushing. Rushing comes from lack, right? Thinking there's not enough time. I got to get it all done now comes from lack, and it gets you nowhere. But being like calm and willing to do the work and bringing in spaciousness around healing your relationship with money, that comes from abundance. Abundance, calm, and spaciousness are like qualities of abundance. So remind yourself of that when that part of you wants to rush to try to get it all done or feel overwhelmed by the things we'll be talking about on this podcast. It's like I'm learning and studying these things, but I'm still just taking my time and working on maybe one to 3 things at a time. Okay, so this brings us to the end of circle number 2. And I've really enjoyed sharing this with you, sharing what I'm learning and going through and healing my relationship with money. And I just look forward to us continuously growing our spiritual wealth together. If this episode and circle has spoke to you in any way, I would love to hear from you. You can reach out to me on my website under the About button at essenceturner.com. You can also leave me a comment or a review. Don't forget to take the Sacred Money Archetype quiz, because all of this will just, you'll have a deeper understanding and awareness around your relationship with money when you take that quiz. And you can even book a Sacred Money Archetype reading. But that brings us to close. And so to close circle, if you are not driving, I would just like to invite you again. So one of the things we do is we think about one thing that we are taking from circle today. So just like one lesson, or it could be a feeling that you are taking from circle. So you can also just comment that, but just close your eyes and just tune into what am I taking away from circle today? And I am taking away purpose. All right, so just in your mind's eye, bringing yourself back to our circle space, seeing us in circle together. And just imagine all the seeds that are being planted, just sprinkling all over you. And they'll be there to blossom whenever they're ready. Taking a deep breath in and exhale. We thank you, Spirit, for the wisdom that we receive today and the wisdom that is yet to come. And with that, circle is closed and you can open your eyes whenever you are ready. And I will see you in the next circle.